and welcome back to Backstage Pass for InfoComm India 2025. I'm Sowmya.
And I'm Manoj.
Well, let's talk more about Mumbai. Well, we did cover a lot in the last two episodes, but now I think we'll cover more about special events at the show and a little bit about Mumbai. For me, Mumbai is just not a city. I feel it's like a living entity, which is pulsating, relentless, and always on the move, which was formerly known as Bombay. This city is definitely a financial powerhouse of India, home to Bollywood, the biggest film industry in the world, and a melting pot of cultures, cuisines, and communities.
That's lovely to hear. I mean, especially would, be there to experience the vibes of Mumbai, the energy that the people bring in, the culture, the color, and lots more. Coming back to what the show is bringing, I hear that there are lots of events happening at the InfoComm 2025, and we definitely do have some special events. Would you want to talk about that, Sowmya?
Oh, sure. Yes, there are a few special events lined up for all of the attendees. One of it, which happens on a daily basis, and it's called a Smart Tech Stage Light Show for the very first time in InfoComm India. The attendees are going to experience a dazzling light show at the Smart Tech Stage in Jasmine Hall. As I said, it is happening daily throughout the event. And this brief but very captivating spectacle will showcase cutting-edge lighting technology in action. And also, there is another hands-on workshop that's been organized, which is on day 3 of the show by Netgear. And it is known as Mastering AV Networking, Practical Skills for AV over IP Protocol. Dear attendees, please do join us for an engaging and interactive experience where you will configure, deploy, and optimize AV protocols in a controlled environment. And by participating in these, the attendees will gain skills needed to facilitate efficient communication and data exchange across the systems using varied protocols. Well, don't miss this opportunity to transform your understanding on networked AV into actionable skills. And guess what? It's free to attend. So please do make sure that you register now to secure your spot in this cutting-edge workshop.
Wow, that sounds exciting. I mean, the light show is definitely something that I don't want to miss. And to learn more about technology, who doesn't want to?
Well, Manoj, I heard you had a conversation with Audinate. Do you want to share some information on that with us?
I had a brilliant conversation with Vince Lepore, Director of Global Training from Audinate, and we had some nice conversation, and we spoke about AV over IP and Dante and the wonders of how it's going changing the face of pro AV world.
That's wonderful. I would love to hear more about it.
Let's go and listen to that.
Let's go.
Welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about the future of Pro AV with Vince Lepore, Director of Global Training from Audinate. We'll get into knowing how they're expanding in India, what's driving adoption of Dante, and some exciting innovations they're bringing to the market, including what's coming up at InfoComm India 2025. Over to you, sir. Give us a quick introduction about yourself.
Sure. Thank you, Manoj, for having me back again. So my name's Vince Lepore. I'm Audinate's Director of Global Training, and I have a long background in education. So I worked in higher education for 18 years prior to joining Audinate, and now I manage the global training team. So my team is all across the world out teaching and evangelizing about the Dante platform.
What opportunities and challenges do you see for Audinate in India?
Oh, it's a complicated question, of course, but I think we're just starting to sort of expand our presence in the India market. And I think, obviously there's a lot of opportunity in AV and AV over IP. It seems to be growing tremendously in the country. And I think the challenge for us is just like opening up any new market. It's meeting people, it's meeting channel partners, it's understanding what the market looks like and where things kind of stand today in terms of AV over IP, what the demand looks like. And yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for us right now is just expanding partnerships, so Avixa being a great example, but obviously channel partners as well. And we always see education and training as sort of a way to get a foothold in a market. We've done this elsewhere in the past. We've done this in Latin America, for example, where the first hire that we did in Latin America was on my training team, actually. And so we'll kind of plant someone in the region, get them to get out and do education and training and just just raise awareness about the technology. And then generally sales and everything else kind of follows suit. So the training and education is really, really important to Audinate.
Fantastic. So I just wanted to find out. I mean, in Avixa, we've also had our own challenges and things like that. So why do you think local training has got such a precedence or a big focus for Dante adoption across the subcontinent?
Yeah, I think, I don't even think this is unique to India, but I just think the nature of IP technology is that it requires a lot of underlying sort of prerequisite knowledge, not just about the Dante platform itself, but also about the underlying networking components as well. And so I think the first step to anybody feeling comfortable adopting Dante is for them to understand what is it capable of doing. One of the things that's fascinating about Dante is the use cases are tremendously wide. I mean, it's almost so wide that it's difficult to kind of wrap your head around, like, what is this technology actually capable of? I often tell people that in talking with customers every single day, I frequently talk to people who are using Dante in a way that I never thought of before. So after all these years of knowing the technology and working for Audinate, people still come to me almost every day and say, yeah, I'm doing this and that with Dante. And I think to myself, wow, I never actually thought of that. And so I think just getting people to understand the width and the breadth of the use cases for Dante technology is a great first step in terms of kind of introducing the technology to a new market.
Fantastic. Thank you, Vince. So India predominantly is, integrator market, So how are new cloud and AV tools changing the expectations of integrators around the globe or specifically to the India market?
Sure. There's kind of a couple parts to that question, right? So there's the AV tools part, and then there's the cloud part. So maybe I'll talk about cloud a little bit to start. Cloud means a lot of things to different people because it's not sort of this monolithic technology. It's actually similar to Dante. There are many things you can do with Dante, and there are many things you can do in the cloud. What I can speak to is kind of what Audinate is doing in the cloud and how that is impacting integrators around the world. This will certainly be true in India as well. There's sort of two forks to our cloud strategy at Audinate. One is SaaS applications that are simply hosted in the cloud. All right. And the example of that from Audinate is called Dante Director. Dante Director is a SaaS application that's used for managing large Dante networks. And if there was one kind of implication for integrators, I would say it's that Dante networks now have to be connected to the internet, which is not historically the way that people design Dante networks. There was a time where people specifically designed Dante networks to be isolated from the internet, that they didn't want it to touch the internet. And now, times have changed. The technology has changed. And our expectation is that we want our customers connecting their networks to the internet so that we can do all sorts of complex management from all over the world. I mean, it opens up just a whole new world of use cases, right? So that's kind of one fork in our cloud strategy, is SaaS applications that run in the cloud. The other is doing actual production in the cloud. We offer a product called Dante Connect, which is used to actually route Dante audio from an on-premise location into the cloud that can be used for audio mixing or actual production, right? So there's kind of these two forks to our strategy. I think a lot of our challenge with cloud, it goes right back to education. It's about educating people about what's Audinate's position in the cloud. What are those two forks that I just described? What does that allow them to do for their customers? So again, it's really just making sure that people understand what the capabilities of the Dante platform are. So training and education again.
Fantastic. So coming back to the show, InfoComm India. So what are you most excited to showcase at the show?
Sure. So I think there's probably a couple things. So we're gonna have a presence at one of our partners' booths. The company is called Ansata. So please, if you're attending the show, come by and see us. There will actually be Audinate staff there, but we aren't going to have a Dante booth as a standalone booth. So there's a couple things that we're going to show and that we're going to talk about. I think the number one thing is our new line of Avio adapters. So for anybody who's kind of a little familiar with Dante, we have a product line that's called Avio, which are a set of adapters that allow you to convert from legacy audio formats like analog, AES3, even Bluetooth to and from Dante. And these adapters have been around for a number of years, and they're a really, really popular product for us. Over the last few months, we've introduced a new set of Avio adapters that are specifically geared towards the install and integration market. So there's a few features of these new Avio adapters that make them more suitable for integration. One is the mounting system is more adaptable to installing them in racks and things like that. And then from a connectivity standpoint, they use a Euroblock or a Phoenix connector. So they're a little bit more geared towards integration and a little bit less towards kind of live sound and doing events and things like that. So the new Avio install adapters are probably the biggest thing that we're going to be showing at Ansata's booth. And then the other thing that we're doing, again, to speak to training and education selfishly, we're announcing Ansata as a certified training partner in India. So going back to what I was talking about earlier, they're going to be doing sort of localized training around India about Dante. We're going to be kind of kicking that off as part of InfoComm India. So I think it's an exciting show for us. You know, this is multiple years now that Audinate has had some sort of presence at the show, and I think that's only going to grow and expand in the future.
Fantastic. So audio AV over IP specifically is, constantly changing. The technologies are moving very fast and catching up very quickly. So what excites you most about the future of AV networking?
Oh, gosh. Wow, I could go on forever about this, but I think what excites me about it actually is just what we're speaking about here, which is opening up new markets to the technology. What we find is that actually, if you look at AV over IP at sort of a global level, I feel like we're at the beginning of the curve, so to speak. And what I mean by that is there are parts of the world where Dante is really heavily adopted. The United States being one, Western Europe being another. But a lot of the other places that we operate are still sort of at the beginning of this transition away from either analog or other point-to-point digital technologies into IP audio and IP video and things like that. And so, as a company, Audinate, we still have so much work to do to educate people about our technology, to get them using it, to get them to make that transition. What we find and what I found is that once people make the move from analog to Dante, for example, they never want to go back. They realize, wow, this is an indispensable technology for us. And so what we need to do is we need to show people, hey, this is an indispensable technology. You need to be using this, and they'll come along to our technology. So I think that's the exciting thing, is just I feel like we still have a ton of expansion to do all over the world.
Great. Vince, any last words, any last thoughts that you would want to cover up before we leave?
No, thank you for having me, and we're just looking forward to the show. And I would encourage anybody who's at the show to stop by Ansada's booth and check out what we have to offer.
Thank you. It's clear Dante is shaping not just the present, but the future of AV. Thanks so much, Vince, for sharing your insights. For listeners who want to see these technologies in actions, be sure to check out Audinate at the Ansada booth in InfoComm India 2025 and keep an eye on their latest innovations. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj.
Well, that was a wonderful conversation with Audinate. Congratulations, Manoj. Dear audience, up next, we're diving into a conversation with one of the key voices shaping the future of AV technology, and that is
Jabra.
lovely. So I hear you had a conversation with somebody at Jabra. Care to share with us?
Absolutely. The lady that I was talking to was Ling. She's the product marketing director at Jabra. And did you know that this will be their first time showcasing their products in InfoComm India? It'll be a great opportunity for people to get hands-on. And of course, part of adopting new technology, that is making sure people feel confident in using that. And that's definitely going to be showcased at their booth. Let's go and have a listen.
Let's go ahead.
Hello and welcome to the show. Today we're talking about InfoComm India 2025 and I'm excited to be joined by Ling Lu, Product Marketing Director from Jabra. It's a big year for them as they're taking part in the event for the first time. Let's dive in. May I request Ling for a quick introduction, please?
Thank you very much, Manoj, for having me here today. Really excited. My name is Ling, and I look after the entire portfolio under enterprise solutions for Jabra. So we cover both video and audio solutions, focusing on the modern workplace. And I'm really excited to head over to Mumbai next week.
Fantastic. So let's quickly dive in. So this is Jabra's first time at InfoComm India. What made now the right time for you to be part of this show?
India is a market overall very exciting, full of different dynamics, and it has not changed. But what we have seen it has changed or developed over the past years is we see a huge growth market in India, and definitely a lot of pickup on the development of the infrastructure and also the modern workplace. So we do see as a Jabra a very important market to focus on. Therefore, it's very important this year we made the decision to really focus on getting more presence and connect with the customer and partners in India in a more direct way through InfoComm India. This is why I'm super excited for next week.
Fantastic. So from your perspective, what trends are you seeing in the way teams use technology and how is Jabra responding to those questions?
For sure. And the one thing you will see at InfoComm India from Jabra is our brand new solution called Pentacast 40 VBS. The reason we bring that particular solution into the market was that we saw a new trend developing in the modern workplace. So you can remember on the back of or during the pandemic, right? We talk about hybrid working a lot. And then in the last couple of years, you can also see a lot of companies start to adapt to return to the office trend. And it's definitely a theme now going on wider and wider. But we evidently, hybrid ways of working is not going to disappear, but we also need to reconsider what is the role of the office in the future of hybrid ways of working. And when we see employees coming back to the office, they are longing for social activities. They are longing for collaboration. They are not there to sit on their individual desk to do their own individual work, right? They want to collaborate with other team members. And we also know today's world, we have more complicated problem to solve. It's not easy to solve by ourselves, which also require us to constantly reach out to our colleagues or maybe stakeholders to sit down together and find a solution together. And sometimes these colleagues or stakeholders who can help us may not be in the physical location altogether. So this really comes to the need for hybrid meetings in the way of return to the office. But when we look at those hybrid meetings, the type of space these interaction are taking place now is also very interesting. We see companies have actually a lot more numbers of huddle spaces start to grow. It was growing. It was a big number of those spaces in the past anyway, but we saw a growth as we look into the future, particularly to cater those more spontaneous small group discussion, brainstorming, problem solving. There is a huge role of those small spaces. But then on the other side, we also see people struggle to book meeting room when they come back to the office, right? Because we tend to, we are longing for social interactions. So we tend to come back to the office when everyone else is coming back as well. That also just triggers the demand of the meeting room we need when we need to sit together, teamwork. And then when the small rooms for 3, 4, 5 people are running out, then people tend to book the rooms are way too big. Maybe they book a 10-person meeting room. And then you also still can see a queue outside. People just simply cannot find any meeting room. So again, these dynamics as we observe really trigger us to think about how do we utilize the space we have and cater for what people want to do when they come back to the office and to maybe empower a better collaboration overall for the modern workforce. So yeah, that's what we see, at least on the modern work trend. That's one of the very interesting area we would like to provide more solution towards our organizations today. And Penacast 4D VBS is also a solution we designed and built specifically for those small meeting huddle spaces to overcome the challenges we saw in the past.
So for anyone planning to visit InfoComm India 2025, number one, where can they find you? And when we stop by at your booth, what do we expect to find there?
So if you do come to visit InfoComm India, make sure you do stop by Jabra booth at booth number M10. So we will be there. It will be a bunch of very friendly Jabra people there. Can't wait to take you around the booth. As I mentioned, one of the star at the booth will be Penacast 4D VBS because that's the latest product we are launching to the market, now available to order. And we will also at the same time showcase all of our other video portfolio that's covering not only the small huddle spaces, but also medium-sized meeting rooms and in different setup, whether the customer is choosing to go on Android platform or Windows-based solutions, and whether it's a Teams room setup or Zoom room setup, you will see the experience come alive, how we work with those alliance platforms. And at the same time, you also know Jabra is a audio brand, is very much a leader in the audio solution for enterprise customers. So we will also have our great portfolio of headsets, speakerphones, also available on the booth for you to, try out and see what are the latest innovation from that side of the business as well. And there you will also see the heritage of Jabra belong to the GN company, our parent company, where we will also have gaming solutions, hearing aid solutions, how those different expertise under one roof really help us to innovate the solution for video, audio, and bring very unique capability to our target audience with a very targeted solution for the modern workplace. So yeah, a lot of things to see for sure. So do make your time and stop by Jabra booth at M10.
Fantastic. So what else do you need so much of technology and a friendly person to talk to? Moving on, what kinds of resources or training does Jabra help to customers and partners really get the most out of their solutions?
So we will, again, have a group of Jabra staff at a booth. We will take you through booth tours. We do offer these interactions. So if you come visit us, we will definitely take you through different solutions and give you the live demos to see how those experiences come alive in real environment. And particularly in the focus of this year, we will focus on Penacast 4D VBS. There you will see not only just how the video capability comes out in the meeting room, how do we use 180-degree field of view to address the tight little space in huddle room with no blind spot, no space that is wasted thanks to the wide angle camera. But at the same time, also, how do we make the installation process super easy for our AV installers? That is also a pain point we realized and probably being overlooked in the past. So you will also see the fantastic unboxing experience of how can we provision those video devices before they get into the meeting room without even taking the device out of the box, which will save a huge amount of time for the AV installers. Again, think about how many small rooms out there or huddle spaces are out there that needs to be video equipped today, and making that process super simple, super scalable, and save time for each one unit is critical for the installers. So that we will also have a very clear demo on the booth. So before the device gets into the room, you will see the demo in the installation process. You will also see how it comes alive with the demo live in a meeting room environment as well. And beyond that, we are also hosting tech talks every day. So through the tech talks, you will be able to listen to our Jabra leaders from senior leadership group, and we'll talk about the thought leadership insights we develop in Jabra, which point out what is the future direction of modern workplace that is heading towards, including AI and the workplace well-being challenges, etc., etc. And how do we use Jabra solution or developing Jabra solution to help support the modern workforce to be successful in this new ways of working?
Fantastic. That looks like a huge bundle of things that we can expect, not only at the Jabra booth, but at the summit, where a lot of people are from Jabra are going to be making a lot of presentations. So, Ling, that was a brilliant thing. Before we wrap up, what are you personally most looking forward at the InfoComm show at India this year?
Of course, my most what makes it most exciting to me is to meet new people. It's also the first time for me to go to InfoComm India, so I'm sure I will meet a lot of new faces or familiar faces from the same industry. But at the same time, it's also super exciting for us to also get very direct reaction and feedback from the partners and also the customers in India market with our latest solution. And we hope it will be a success, and we hope we will bring really relevant solution to the Indian market.
Absolutely. So, I mean, your expectations are never going to fail you. I mean, the market is definitely growing at a very, very fast pace in India, and you're definitely in for more than brilliant surprises over here. Welcome to the show, and looking forward and wishing you all the very best. Thank you for talking to us, Ling. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I do look forward to be there. And thank you very much to you as well, and have a great show.
Thank you very much, Ling. Thank you. Sowmya, with so much happening and so many programs, are you really excited in getting there?
Oh, yes. The excitement is just building day by day as we're getting closer to the show. So, dear attendees and dear listeners, join us at InfoComm India 2025, which is happening from 7th to 9th September at Geo World Trade Center in Mumbai, where technology meets transformation.
So that wraps up the podcast for this season of InfoComm India 2025.
And the next stop is Mumbai. Well, until next time, thanks for listening and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Signing off, your host, Sowmya,
Manoj.